What's going on, guys? It's another episode of Rap Related. Your boy Big Poe. In this segment, we talk about meeting Boppa. You know what I mean? Meeting Boppa. My brother, you know Boppa. If you know Poe, you know Bop. You know what I mean? If you heard of Poe, you heard of Bop. You heard of Bop and Poe. Deuces Wild. You know what I mean? Two solo rappers who come together as a group whenever they feel like it. You know what I mean? And make magic happen. Boppa, man, speaking of Bop, this guy, Bop, when focusing on his A game, first off, I would say he's the most underrated rapper in Philly. And he gets his shine, but I would say he's the most underrated rapper in Philly. One of the top three. And I'm going to do an underrated list later. I won't be biased, so I can't put me or Bop on it. It's going to just be underrated, top 10 underrated rappers in Philly. That's coming real soon. Yeah, Rap Related, subscribe to the channel, man. We're about to go in. Like I said, Bop on his A game, one of the most underrated rappers. The guy is one of the only rappers that I've ever felt was scary. You know what I mean? Like, yo, when this guy's at his best, he's scary. Period. When we do songs together, we're trying to kill each other on the songs. And I laugh about it. I say I'm more like LeBron because I make people around me better. And like when we do songs together, I'm like wanting certain things to be tight, and I'm working on the hook. Usually you'll hear me on the hook, so I'm tweaking the hook to be right. Then I look up and this guy's over there with the Kobe mentality, just killing the verse. And I'm like, hold on, let me get selfish. You know what I mean? Bop is selfish-minded, you know what I mean? Selfish-minded rapper, you know what I mean? I'm saying lyrically. Yeah, the guy, he's special. You know what I mean? If you listen to him, what I like about him is has his dimension. He's light-skinned. He's not soft, but he has his dimension. He's the arrogant one, you know, the flashy, arrogant one. You know what I mean? When Beanie Siegel met us, I remember Beanie Siegel saying, we was in the office in New York. I remember Beanie Siegel explaining to was it Chris Lighty, I believe? He was just talking about, when I met Poe, he was just telling a story. He was just saying like Poe and his partner are like night and day. What he was saying was we just two totally different guys. That's two totally different individuals who come together. You know what I mean? We come together and make great music. Where I'm wild and hype, Bop is laid back and calm. You know what I mean? But I have to hype him up. He could get aggressive. You know what I mean? But he's arrogant and flashy. Where he's that, I'm more simplistic, down to earth. You know what I mean? Humble. You know. But when you put those two things together, you get Deuces Wild. You get the thoroughness, the arrogance of being a deuce nigga. We call it being a deuce nigga when you 52nd Street, Southwest Philadelphia. But then you get the wildness that I bring to the table, and I bring the wild out of him, and he brings the arrogance out of me. That's how it works with me and Bop. You know what I mean? We bring a different side out of each other, and it just comes together as beautiful songs when we make music together, as people heard. Like when we did that mixtape, the Brothers Keeper on it and everything, it just went all over. And I remember Bubonic and them, Bubonic and Mr. Man coming to us saying, yo, man, we listening to y'all join up in New York. I think people were saying that Flex heard it, or they was playing it to Flex, or somebody was just, but I just remember them saying like, yo, they used that joint buzzing in New York. We was listening to this joint up in New York, or on our way to New York. And he's like, yo, that joint is hot y'all made, bro. They came and acknowledged, I think, Bubonic. I was like, that's respect. Because this was at a time when now the stuff didn't go through with Jive Records. And now the solo deal didn't go through with Jive. Now me and Bop were on a tear because I had like said, Bop, let's do this thing. Let's get back on our game, you know what I mean, together and just go ahead and blaze them from here out. And there was many people who, there was many opportunities, some opportunities, and there was many people who tried to, work with us and wanted to manage us and introduce us to different labels and stuff like that. Mind you, we were already blazing in the streets, blazing the hood. You know what I mean? So when I talked about earlier the Trendsetters bar, anybody from Philadelphia knows about the bar Trendsetters in Southwest Philadelphia, Woodland Avenue. When I say we put that bar on the map, not that we were bar people, that we like going to the bar, but it's because of our names. Back then, I think it was Murder Maine, my man Murder Maine from the back streets, and Boob. They put the party together, and it came to us like, yo, man, we want to throw y'all a party, man. We want to throw y'all a party over there. Y'all gonna rock this party, do a concert to spit at Trendsetters, yo. And they just, they threw the party. But they put out these flyers. It was our names on it. They, and it was wise of them. They got paid, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, we ain't get paid a dime, you know what I'm saying? It was slick of them, but it was all good. It was all love, man. It was like, we was like, not even really thinking about it. They just did it, like, yo, we want to do this. We gonna put y'all in, yo, come through and spit, whatever. So we told them, yo, we'll come through and spit. They go on a flyer, make it the Bop and Po party. They put our names on that flyer. Mind you, our street buzz was already going crazy. We was out on the block. But the buzz from the rap on the streets was already going crazy because we had so many people interested and so much going on, man, that it was just like, yo. And then we was throwing them mixtapes. Our stuff was floating around out there in the hood. People pumping it, Southwest. You hearing cats riding down the street with that banging. And it just was wild, man. That's who we are. We're wild. It was just wild that they did that. But anyway, so the flyers going around, people like, yo, Bop and Po performing a concert at Trendsetters, man. Before you know it, that night came. We going there, coming through like, yeah, let's go through. Yeah, we gonna go though. You know what I mean? People like, yo, y'all really gonna be there? Y'all going? Yeah, we going through. Yeah, we gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So we went, the flyer went all around. They did a good job of promoting the joint. And we go to Trendsetters, man. This joint is packed. Like 2 levels from the floor to the ceiling for the first time ever. Trendsetters was a bar that some of the people from the back streets hung out at. But before this day, Trendsetters didn't get that kind of traction. It was like more like an old head bar, a couple people there, whatever. It was real dead. I don't know if it was some Jamaicans who owned it at a time, but it was a real calm spot just on 53rd and Woodland Avenue, keeping it real. Well, this particular night of that party, that concert, everybody and their mama showed up, okay? The whole hood, packed top to bottom. This place, you couldn't even move to get in. We coming in like this, you couldn't even move, man. Top to bottom, the performances, we was going to perform we performed upstairs. It was top to bottom, packed. The buzz was all through Southwest Philly, and I remember laughing because Stevie G, now we were still using Stevie G at the time because he was shopping us. Because now I was like, yo, all right, well, the job thing ain't going through. I'm doing my mans. We going to just keep doing this thing together, how we was going to do it. It didn't matter who got on first. If Deuces Wild got on first or if Poe got on first, Bop was getting put on regardless. That's my mans. You know what I mean? We lived 2 doors down from each other. Okay? We grew up together. You know what I mean? Me and him were more like brothers than anything. So, mind you, so that day, everybody, Steve even showed up, Stevie G, he showed up, but that was when we first met Chris and Neve. He showed up with Chris and Neve, and the Dutch man was there. Montana was there. Was Bubonic and Mr. there? I think they were. I'm not sure that night, but I know Chris and Neve was there. Montana came. They came. Montana spit. He was ripping it that night. Chris and Neve, a couple people spit that night. But it was like, yo, the buzz was so crazy that everybody, you had to be there. So it was no getting around it. Everybody, you had to be there. You know what I mean? So that was an event that just put us on the map so hard. You know what I mean? It put us on the map so hard. Not us on the map, put Trendsetters on the map so hard. We were on the map. It put Trendsetters on the map so hard that after that party, forever on, every weekend, Trendsetters was just blaze packed, packed from there on, you know what I mean? Brought that whole Young Wild, that whole street crew, the whole Philly movement came through there that particular night. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the highlights of me we laugh about that to this day. But I always laugh. I'll be like, yo, y'all ain't cut no bread. You know what I mean? Not that we was in it for the bread. We didn't promote the party, nothing. We was just on the block. They just said they was going, will we come through and spit? Yeah, we want to throw y'all a party, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We didn't care. We was focusing on deals and, a lot of other stuff. So So it was all good. It was all love, you know what I mean? But yeah, but anyway, like I said, Bop, when he's focused, Now Bop's a guy, he's going to give you quality. Now, with Big Poe, I could kick out. Like right now I'm in a zone where I done kicked out, I think about like, I made like 40 joints in about like a month and a half. I'm like a gym rat, a workaholic. Boppa, I always got to twist his arm and stuff like that to get songs out of him, to get verses out of him. Come on, that was all our life since we were young. You know what I mean? When he's on his A game, he's going to give you, but when he does come, he's going to come with it, and he's going to come with some quality. You know what I'm talking about? Bop, when we were kids, I'm talking about the age of the youngsters and Criss Cross and Another Bad Creation. When we were young, man, I was rapping back then. I remember I met him. Well, not met him, but when we first got a chance to kick it one-on-one, you know what I mean? Because he lived 2 doors down. His mom let him come out, we got to kick it one-on-one. We playing with cars in the living room or whatever at my mom's crib. We kids, mind you, like 10 years old, 11, maybe. And I kicked the rap to him where I let him know that I rap. Then he kicked the rap. But I didn't know it was hot. I'm like, yo. But it was his brother rap. This dude talking about the strength of 10 tigers. Something, you know what I mean? But it was his brother rap. His older brother is Mike Bipper, who you hear us talk about. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mike Bipper. Mike Bipper's, he's a guy, he makes a lot of moves in the entertainment business. You know what I mean? Much respect to him and Speakeasy TV. Mike Bipper, you're going to keep hearing this name too because that's family. But he's Boppa's older brother. You know what I mean? So he kicked one of Mike Bipper's raps from back in the day. And this was back in this. I'm like, that was hot, bro. I kicked my joint. I found out later, I think I told Mike or something like, yeah, it was hot. He's like, man, that was my rap, man. You're scheming, don't be kicking my raps. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, after that, though, when Bop started making his own stuff, he really was hot. And I was like, yo, this boy is hot. And we had 2 battles, which he came very close in both battles. That's why I say he's scary. I beat him both times. But it's like, when you men, the alpha male always has to show that at some point has to put somebody, we too competitive. Somebody always going to rise up or have to put the other one in check. So 2 times, once on Wilton Street, we were young bulls, probably 12, 13. On my man Little's porch, I'll never forget, he came hard. I mean, this battle went for rounds, and I got him in the last round, you know what I mean? Got him out of there with like unbelievable punchline. This is some old school stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about we were kids. Like, I mean, he said something in his rap, he said, oh, he was all that or something. But in my rap, I said something I was all that plus tax or all that in a bag of chips. And this was just that was the slang back then. You know what I mean? I'm telling my age, but that was the slang back then. It was just like, yo, everybody went crazy. But the battle was all that. The battle was intense. Everybody was on the porch watching. And it was what it was. People like to do that, try to turn me and him against each other. You know what I mean? For the sake of their entertainment. So, and then every once in a while, I always know what Boppa feed into it. And as soon as he do, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to do what I got to do. But it's never easy. Then another time, we had a little battle. Paulie, shout out to Paulie. Paulie and Snake was my old head back in the day. Snake was pushing for Bop because Bop talked that flashy stuff, and Paulie was saying, yo, he can't mess with Big Poe, whatever. Mind you, me and Bop is partners, but he's talking like yo. So I peep Bop kind of like he's taking this in. He loves it, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like Bop is like a guy who for a while was like in the shadows of Big Poe. But people don't realize that now they realize, but Bop is nasty. He's his own individual. Bop is a hot rapper, you know what I'm talking about? So he's liking the fact that he's being, supported, because so he ended up dropping verses, and before you know it turned to a battle. I ended up getting him. You know what I mean? I forget what I used, but I ended up getting him. But it was another tough one. You know what I mean? But it was like whatever. But after that, we never battled again. I think there's quiet, but what happens goes on now with silent battles on the songs that we do. You'll hear silent battles. Sometimes I win the song. Sometimes Boppa win the song. That's how we create. You know what I mean? If you listen, you got to listen. The boy is nasty now, but actually though, but every song we don't come in to trying to kill each other, because a lot of times I'm trying to do a direction and like push what I want people to get from us as a team. You know what I mean? But you can always count on Bop to come through with quality. I mean, the boy's nasty. I've seen him get his recognition and respect from like artists that are nasty MCs, journalists. Remember the journalists? You know what I mean? I've seen, journalists respect dudes as well, but journalists, it was fun just watching how he respected Boppa. You know what I mean? Seeing that, like, yo, and journalists will attest to it. He's like, yo, this guy, Bop is nasty. You know what I mean? I seen Montana like, oh, Bop, yo, he nasty. You know what I mean? Stevie G. I seen Bop recognize, you know what I mean? And that always made me feel good, you know what I'm talking about? Because I was always pushing him. And I think that iron sharpens iron, us being around each other, we fire each other up, man. You know, if you ever, I mean, we got a mixtape we gonna drop real soon. You know what I mean? When that drops, Immortal, y'all ain't gonna believe it. You know what I mean? If you thought we was doing something back then, wait till you hear what we got. We gonna just drop it and bless y'all with that. Just throw it at you real soon. You know what I mean? But yeah, the guy is nasty, man. What can I say? And then he has another side where he has his songs that he does for chicks. You know, a lot of people haven't heard any of his solo stuff. But I want to go into a moment with Boppa. Man, there's so much, man. This is going to be probably a part 1 and a part 2. If I can't fit it all into this one part. I want to go into it's probably going to be a part 1 and part 2, man. But let me just say, oh man, I lost my train of thought. There's so much to talk about, and I'm trying to condense it. You know what I mean? This guy's special. Okay, yeah. I'll go into a moment though. When Bop, I would say this is a moment where he really broke out of the shadows and said, "Listen here, I'm here." You know what I mean? It was a mixtape that Ice of Nam, the legendary crew from Philadelphia, Nam Brigade, formerly known as the Task Force. When it was the Task Force, yo, I was, that's when it was really blazing. I got stories to tell about them. About my man Ice. I'll do a story. That'll be a separate joint, meeting Ice of Task Force. But anyway, I remember Ice was doing this mix joint, and with artists from everywhere, from all over Philly came in. I think Chops and Ruck ended up on there. Montana, Most Wanted, the original Most Wanted, was on there. A lot of people was on there. I was on there, of course. I had a solo joint on there. Bop had which is awesome. Bop's solo joint on that particular mixtape was just as hot as mine, if not hotter. I thought that joint, it was hotter. I had a joint that I made the same day of the recording called No Remorse. It was crazy. Who this shit, nigga? Tell me who you with, nigga. Poe, of course. It was called No Remorse. But Bop had a joint called Y'all Niggas Pissed Off Bop. Like, if you make Bop mad, a lot of times, performance-wise, I got to get him pumped up and engaged for him to lock in. Because a lot of times, guys that are like introverts and laid back, sometimes they don't know when we performing. I got to get you got to get that pit bull energy. So once you get them locked in, one thing you don't want to do is piss off Bop. Because it's a rap. He's going in. On this song, he had to join Close Your Door, but the shit don't lock. Y'all know what y'all did. Y'all niggas pissed off Bop. No love. Somebody gonna end up shot. Bring it to your hood. I'ma bring it to your block, nigga. Close the door, but the shit don't lock. Y'all know what y'all did. Y'all niggas pissed off Bop. No love. I was so proud of him. And the beat was, Ice beats are amazing. Shout out to Ice for amazing production. And I just remember feeling like a proud dad. It's like, no, I'm just playing Bop. No, but shout out to Bop. I love you, bro. Look, I remember feeling so proud. I heard somebody riding by, banging that joint. No love. Y'all niggas pissed off Bop. I said, woo, the hood was quaking off of them joints. His joint, and then people was riding around playing that No Remorse. You know what I mean? Who the shit? And I had Bop saying on the ad-lib, who the shit, nigga? And I'm like, tell me who you with, nigga? Poe, of course. And it was crazy. There was two different sounds. It was just amazing. Like, we blazed that mixtape, man. But to me, that was the moment that he said, no, I am here. I'm Boppa. Y'all love Poe. I love Poe. I know who Big Poe is. Y'all gonna stop just looking at me as like, yo, that's Poe's man. That's just what Poe is. Yo, Poe homie. No, my name is Boppa. Bop at that. You know what I mean? People pissed him off. You know, he brought out his competitive edge. And he went crazy on that joint. So shout out to him. That's a hell of a memorable moment. This is part 1. You will get Meeting Boppa part 2. You know what I'm saying? You will get that. I'll be sure to give you that. But right now, chew on this. Subscribe to the channel. You're getting everything real right here, man. There's so much more to cover on part 2. We're going to talk about the stuff that was floating around with the Rough Rider for me about the Rough Rider situation. Going to talk about us meeting Cassidy and going to Priority Records and them wanting to make us a group. But none of us thought that was a good idea. You know what I mean? But The boy is nasty. But we're going to talk about that on Meet and Boppa Part 2. So stay tuned for that.